What do you think is the most creative industry for overcoming challenges? Before you...
Ah, gravity, thou art a heartless bitch.
Big 32!
What do you think is the most creative industry for overcoming challenges? Before you answer that, watch this clip.
There you go. But everybody else's tobacco is toasted.
No, everybody else's tobacco is poisonous. Lucky Strikes is toasted.
Well, you must have guessed it's tobacco industry. But what if I told you that tobacco industry has suddenly realized their mistakes? They have realized what damage they have done to this world. How many people have they killed? And now they want to use their power for good and save Mukesh.
डार्क हो गया क्या?
नहीं सर बहुत बढ़िया.
Actually, they have realized that they don't want people to smoke cigarette or consume tobacco anymore. In fact, they are promoting this so that you can quit smoking. But you know what? Something smells tobacco-y.
We're talking about oral nicotine pouches. That's a new product that's being marketed as a smoke-free, tobacco-free alternative to cigarettes.
It's the latest nicotine product taking youngsters by storm.
I need my fix. Where are they?
Welcome to today's episode where we are diving into a topic that's making waves around the world. Nicotine pouches. So what exactly is a nicotine pouch? Why is it that it's suddenly pushing tobacco stocks higher globally? How fast is its market really growing? And what was the original purpose behind its creation? Is this product having its own 0 to 1 breakthrough moment? And perhaps most intriguing, why is it being promoted as beneficial? On the flip side, what are the real dangers of nicotine pouches? And finally, we'll uncover the trick behind the phenomenon. What's the actual story behind the philanthropy here? Let's rewind and look at how nicotine pouches actually came to be. The story starts in Switzerland, a country known for its unique relationship with tobacco. For centuries, Swedes have used something called snus, a traditional moist tobacco product you tuck under your lip. Snus is made from powdered tobacco leaf, which contain carcinogens, and it's usually unflavored. While snus is banned from the most EU, Sweden is an exception. Some even credit snus for Sweden's low smoking and lung cancer rates, though the Swedish Cancer Society isn't convinced that there is a direct linkage. But here's where things change. A team of Swedish scientists led by retired pharmacist named Thomas Eriksson set out to reinvent snus. Their idea? Take the tobacco out and replace it with synthetic nicotine. The result? A cleaner, less harmful alternative that could be marketed to smokers looking to quit. Eriksson's motivation wasn't just money. He said that the plan was about public health. To give big cigarette companies a profitable, less harmful product so they would have a reason to move away from traditional tobacco. And the pouch format? It has some big advantages over the nicotine replacement therapies like gum. It's discreet, no chewing and spitting required. It's cleaner, no mess, no smell, and it's cheaper to produce. Carl Fergustrom, a leading expert on nicotine addiction, launched his own brand, Sonic, back in 2008. He puts it simply, today's smoker knows smoking is bad. Sweden is an example where we have reduced the harm. So what started as a Swedish innovation to cut down on smoking has now become the next big thing for big tobacco. But as we will see, the story isn't simple as just swapping out tobacco for synthetic nicotine. The real consequences are just starting to unfold. You might wonder, how did a simple idea like a little pouch of synthetic nicotine end up driving one of the world's biggest tobacco companies to record stock prices? Here's how it happened. Thomas Eriksson, the pharmacist behind the original nicotine pouch, sold his patent to Swedish Match for a multi-billion-dollar deal. Swedish Match then launched the brand Zyn in US back in 2014. At first, the growth was steady, nothing explosive. Then, in 2022, philipmorris International, the company behind the Marlboro, made a massive bet, buying Swedish Match for $16 billion. Now here's where things get really pumped up. philipmorris CEO calls this purchase as one of the most important decisions he has ever made. Why? Because it gave Philip Morris the golden ticket into the booming market for smoke-free products. Zug himself put it in this way: investors are happier, my consumers are happier. We wanted to unsmoke 1 billion people. Swedish Match has the pouches. Strategically, it was perfect. And the numbers do tell the real story. This year, Philip Morris expects to sell up to 840 million cans of Zyn in the US alone. That's up to 45% from the last year. And outside US, sales surged a staggering 75% in 2024. Demand has been so strong that the company has struggled to keep Zyn on the shelf for the last 3 quarters.
It's the latest nicotine product taking youngsters by storm.
I need my fix. Where are they?
That's why they're investing big. A $600 million factory in Colorado dedicated to Zyn, plus expansion at other plants. But here's the kicker: Zyn isn't just selling well, it's making more money can for can than traditional cigarette. Philip Morris estimates that the revenue from Zyn in the US per 1,000 units is nearly 6 times than that of a cigarettes. Analyst Citi says that the gross margin on nicotine pouches is about 15%, points higher than on cigarettes. All this has sent Philip Morris stock price soaring. In just the past year, shares have skyrocketed to 80%, hitting records high and leaving competitors in the dust. Wall Street is calling this a multi-year growth narrative, and the company is betting big that the future is smoke-free but still packed with nicotine.
Which is your favorite?
You know, Ryan, it really depends on the kind of mood I'm in. Sometimes you're feeling citrus and sometimes you're feeling cinnamon.
Unlike its combustible predecessors and chewing tobacco, Zyn can be done almost anywhere at any time.
So why is this little pouch pushing tobacco stocks up? Because it's just not another product. It's a new gold rush for big tobacco, a way to keep people hooked while shifting away from the stigma of smoking. And for now, investors are loving every second of it. Here's a shout out to Nothing Marketing, our parent agency driving top-tier digital marketing solutions and supporting us, that is MBFI's mission. Their performance marketing services deliver exceptional growth for medium-sized businesses. Think targeted ads on Google or social media that boost click, leads, and sales, powered by smart data and AI. They've worked with clients across America, Canada, Australia, and India, helping those brands grow exponentially. Plus, they also offer SEO and social media management to round it all out. MBFI stays unbiased and in depth thanks to Nothing Marketing clients who support us to keep this channel free to share honest insight with you. Ready to grow your business? Check out Nothing Marketing. Link is in the description. There is no doubt that the almost vertical growth of the nicotine pouches are phenomenal. But here's where our story takes a darker turn. Let's see this graph. First, we knew from above that the smoking is really going down, and overall, there is a positive growth on non-smoking alternatives, or so claimed to be healthier alternatives, and that should be a good thing, except if you focus on the second graph. With the age range of 16 to 29, story gets concerning. If we look closely, there is a delta which shows difference between people picking up smoking and nicotine pouches. You see, the number is higher than people, or should I say children, picking up smoking, and the difference just keeps on increasing. What it means that an average kid who would have never picked up smoking might be more attracted to or have picked up non-smoking alternatives. And this is specifically true for men as compared to women. Since we have started this video, have you ever talked about how it can be beneficial? Then why is it being sold like it is something beneficial?
A boy that one of my daughters was dating, New Year's 2020, was at my house and he pulls this out. I'm like, what is that? He goes, it's the future.
That's for Zyn, by the way.
Yeah.
And it's a 6 milligram. That's a heavy dose.
But I'm a caffeine guy. I love caffeine.
That's a lot like caffeine, but like even more.
I know that it's for guys. It's actually embarrassing. But I'll tell you one thing, they're delicious.
One dangerous trend that's going around is promoting nicotine pouches as nootropic, a drug that improves brain function or even a lifestyle enhancer. This idea has taken hold in online communities, social media, and even among influencers and public figures. Take for example the way nicotine pouches have become mainstream among young professionals and athletes. 1 in every 5 Premium League footballers reportedly use them. And on Wall Street, bankers from big firms say they have noticed more colleagues popping pouches at work. This trend has spawned its own online subculture, with fans joking about upper dickies or lip pillows on TikTok and Reddit, seen dubbed the Internet by journalist Max Speed. But why is it being promoted as beneficial?
Nicotine gum, zins, patches, whatever else you use is better for you than vaping, and it's much easier to stop if you do wish to do that in the future.
The answer is a mix of marketing, science, and social trend. First, there is an idea that nicotine can act as a cognitive enhancer. Some neuroscientists and even the podcasters like Andrew Huberman have called nicotine as nootropic, and there is some actual scientific evidence to back this up. But while nicotine may sharpen your focus and improve alertness, mainly by increasing dopamine and acetylcholine in the brain, it's also highly addictive, regardless of how it is delivered. And marketing around this benefit can be misleading. Nicotine pouches are often positioned as a cleaner alternative to smoking, with messages highlighting their conveniences, lack of smell, and ability to use it anywhere. Some brands even suggest that they can help focus, weight loss, and stress relief. However, the reality is more complicated. The addictive nature of nicotine is well documented, and many users find it hard to quit once they start. There are even Reddit forums with thousands of members dedicated to quitting Zine, and lawsuits have been filed against the PMI, alleging that the company hooked consumers on nicotine. The healthcare implications of long-term pouch use are still unclear, but there are evidences that nicotine can worsen cardiovascular conditions, cause oral lesions, and irritate or recede gums. What's more is the barrier to entry is lower than that of cigarettes. They are cheaper, easier to use, and come in appealing flavors. As one university student put it, it's much cheaper than smoking and vaping. The effects are stronger too. It doesn't have the gross feeling of smoking because the flavors are quite nice and there's no aftertaste. But he also admitted that if he went a day or two without using it, he would have an itch in his throat or mouth. It would definitely be hard to quit. Regulators are also starting to take notice. Many countries have banned or strictly limited nicotine pouches over the fears that they could be a gateway for young people to start using nicotine. In the USA, the FDA now requires approval for each nicotine-containing product, but until a decision is made, companies can keep advertising. Sign was the first brand to receive FDA marketing authorization in early 2025. After a 5-year review process. While nicotine pouches are being promoted as beneficial or fun, thanks to bright colors or the claim of enhancing focus or helping people quit smoking, the reality is that they are still highly addictive and carry real health risks. The marketing narrative is powerful, but it's important to look beyond the hype and see the bigger picture, as there can be dangers of using nicotine pouches. As to be honest, we don't know what could be the long-term effects of nicotine pouches, as the product is quite new and to be honest, not that well tested. And now, big tobacco lobby is behind it. Any non-biased actual test is almost impossible to see the light of the day. However, we are capable of insinuating some conclusion from the past products. And here is where it can reveal the deception behind the philanthropy. Like the events of how if vaping was banned, there was a sudden increase of old traditional cigarettes. They are trying to do similar kind of thing here too. But the problem with this medium or product is it is discreet, and an average parent won't be able to distinguish it from the regular teen product. So till the time that parents came to know about it, it would be too late. And this can very well be the gateway for cigarettes and other drugs, as the government might ban it anytime. But till that time, the kid might be addicted and might go for other dangerous alternatives. A personal story, I was also kind of an addict, but to gaming. We were spending hours on it, until one teacher of mine, Hitendra sir, quoted me this quote: "Addiction is a sign of a weak man." And that has practically changed my perspective of my life and practically is keeping me away from any kind of addictions. So this was all about the Big Tobacco's new product. How do you like this case study? Please tell us in the comments. Also please like, share, subscribe for more such interesting content. See you soon.